Hi, friends. Welcome to Sundays with Samma. I'm so happy to be back here with you this week. I apologize for not making a video last week. I was down for the count with a migraine all weekend, which was horrible. But I am really excited to talk to you about books this week, especially two of the ones that I read this week. I will talk a bit in my blog about why I wasn't so impressed with Inside the O'Briens by Lisa Genova. But today I want to focus on At the Water's Edge by Sarah Gruen and A Fireproof Home for the Bride by Amy Sheeby. I'm hoping I pronounced that correctly. This book was incredible. Both of them were. The only way that I could describe it is they are hurricanes in the sense of they start off so slow, and it's like clouds rolling in, getting darker and swirling this story around. And then by the time the storm hits, you're so captivated that you can't put it down. And I have to be honest, these types of books are harder for me because I am a sucker for immediate gratification. I do love a plot that I can immediately get into and a character that I can immediately connect with. And both of these stories, I had a hard time just because they were slow starters. They gave you a lot of background information. And with At the Water's Edge, one of the problems that I kept having is not understanding how one story connected to the larger story at whole. However, those came together beautifully, and I'll get into that in a minute. I really want to start with A Fireproof Home for the Bride because I just finished it 20 minutes ago, and I'm so excited about it. I think the author gave us a lot of information and a lot of subplots, which I was fascinated by, and I thought that they, maybe not crucial to the story, really added this layer of richness that really gave the narrator some vindication on the judgments or decisions that she had made, rather. And I thought that was incredible. I mean, I'm just finished reading this book and I can't stop gushing about it. I connected to this character. I completely understand as being a woman. I think I would love a young adult, a young female reader to read this book just so that they can understand that even when you think that your life is planned out for you, at any moment in time, you can change the direction that your sails go. I know that I have. I know that at times it was hard and I always felt like I disappointed my family, but I always knew that it was the right decision for me. And hey, sometimes it panned out really well and sometimes it didn't, but it's all about the learning process. It's all about evolving and growing. And I think this character did just that throughout the entire novel. So it was incredible. I loved it. I highly recommend it. At the Water's Edge, Sarah Gruen. I had read Water for Elephants and had loved that when I had read that years ago. And so I was looking forward to reading this book. And I'll tell you, about halfway through it, I was just like, complaining to my husband about how I really was looking forward to reading this book and I couldn't get through it. And I'm so happy that I slogged through to 56% because that is where it got interesting. I feel like that's where the story really gelled. Again, very much inside the female disposition in, the 1940s. And that's what actually I liked about both these books. Sarah Gruen's book, it was 1940s, and Amy Sheeby's book, it was like 1960s, 1950s, 1960s. So I really thought that it was just that nothing had changed in those 20 years. A woman still felt as though, she had to abide by her husband. And this takes place in Midwest. A Fireproof Home for the Bride takes place in the Midwest. It takes place in Minnesota. At the Water's Edge partially takes place in Philadelphia, and then for the rest of the novel, it takes place in Scotland. And it's divine. Both are so fabulous in the way that they portray a woman's position and the fact of feeling stuck and not able to control her own destiny. And it's funny for me, as a 32-year-old woman, I've constantly had conversations with friends of mine who, as we're growing up, I guess it used to be, it's okay that you graduate high school, but then you get married and you have children. And then as years went on, okay, it's okay that you go to college because that's where you're going to meet your husband, but you're not actually expected to do any work. And you're going to meet your husband and you're going to drop out of school and you're going to have kids. And then it became acceptable to not only go to college, but actually start a career, as long as you understand that you're going to get married and have children. And then there's me, and I'm 32. And granted, my husband and I just got married, but, we don't have kids. And I can't tell you how many times a week people stop me asking, why I don't have kids or when we're going to have kids. And of course, we're going to have kids. So I feel like for girls and for women, this is a conversation that we're consistently having, and to see it portrayed in these books, in a realistic nature, where I didn't want to punch the female narrator for being, just wishy-washy or, just going along with the humdrum of her life. It's just, these books were exceptional, and I'm so excited about them. I hope that you read them. And if you do, let me know what you think. Tell me if you agree or disagree. And I look forward to talking to you next week. Enjoy your week, everyone. And I'll be announcing the What I'm Reading books tomorrow. Have a great week.